My name is Todd Norian, and I'm the founder of Ashaya Yoga. Nice to be with you. Thanks for taking the time to tune in. I want to talk today a little bit about how intention works, especially when it's an intention made from your heart in alignment with really what it is that you want to do. So if you think of the universe as a continuum of time, space, reality, of which we're a point in the waves of the web of this universe, then what you think, which is actually a vibration, it's a thought, is what we generate. We're like a sort of a satellite station, and so we put out whatever it is that we're thinking. It emanates an energy that goes out. And when you put an intention out, you put like your personal crease in the time-space continuum, such that you affect the quantum field of all of creation. We could say we infect the quantum field of the universe with our thoughts. So when your thoughts come from the heart and they're really focused, and it's something that you want to do that's in the best interest of yourself and of life in general, then the universe has no choice but to receive the intention first and then respond to it. And how it responds is that it conspires on your behalf to bring about everything that needs to happen to bring your desire forward. So it's like if you have a desire for a certain sort of level of work, it'll put you in touch with the people. It'll make the universe happen so you're in the right time, in the right place. You meet the person. And the thing is, you can't control how that's going to work, but you let go. You set the intention, you put it out there clearly, and then part of what makes it effective is that you have to let it go. In other words, don't be attached to the result of what it is that you put out, and wait and see with curiosity and in a state of wonder, to allow the universe then to surprise you with the manifestation, the fulfillment, especially in a kind of step-by-step process that you just flow with the opportunity that comes next. And then another opportunity will come after that, and then another after that. So this happened for me early on in my yoga training. And, I've been doing yoga for, it's going to be 43 years in January. So we could say I started when I was 20 in 1980. And what happened is I went to a 10-day retreat and I stayed for 13 years. That happened to be Kripalu Center when it was in the early days, when it was an ashram. So I didn't even know what an ashram was. I didn't know what a guru was. I just knew that when I arrived on the property, I was greeted with so much love and so much kindness. And the lifestyle was natural, and there was no pressure. It was filled with love, filled with acceptance. I felt a freedom that I never felt like I had before. I was on a career path in music, actually, as a classical piano performance major in college, and then transferred to a jazz degree down at the University of Miami because I love jazz. We could say that I was already starting to follow my heart because I thought I should do classical. But my heart was in jazz, and so I finally just turned and followed my heart, and that worked out great. I had everything lined up. I was gigging, I was making a little bit of money, and then I was set up for a free fellowship to do my master's degree in jazz education and composition. Who knows where that would have led? But what happened is I went to this yoga retreat place, and it just cracked open my heart. And suddenly my intention to be a musician turned into be a musician of life, be a musician of the cosmos. And I set my intention for that, and I didn't even know that I needed that. I wasn't aware that I was all stressed out and bound up and really steeped in the sort of competitive dog-eat-dog world that can be any profession, but certainly it was at that time in music. And there was just always some big pressure. I had to achieve something. I was exhausted. And when I came to yoga, something just cracked open inside, and I saw my potential, and I stepped into it. I put my intention out, and then all of a sudden, my whole universe changed. I was able to let go of the fellowship. I fell in love with this amazing practice and community that was sourced in light and authenticity and truth. And then I began teaching yoga, trained thousands of teachers at the center, married the girl of my dreams. It didn't last, but we had a 27-year run, which was amazing. And it just seemed like my whole life unfolded. And I don't think it would have unfolded if I hadn't set my intention, if I hadn't really longed for something and then gave myself permission to receive it. So coming up in January is the Ashaya Path Teacher and Leadership Training, which is a 200-hour course. You can take the first part, which is a 38-hour course called Ashaya Deepening, and then the first part and the second part together is called Ashaya Awakening. It is one of the most profound courses, not just to be trained as a professional teacher, which you will excel once you're finished with the training, but it's for personal growth. It's for spiritual growth. It's for landing yourself in the power that you hold inside and understand how intention works. And the reason why I'm saying this now is because there's still time to register for the course. But why wait for your transformation when you can do it now? Because what can happen if you commit now to the course rather than, let's see, maybe I'll take it, I'm not sure. Let's see how the weather is on the day that it starts. And if it's a good day, I'll sign up. That if you make an intention, if you're looking for a very deep, intense, transformative experience on all levels of your being, body, mind, and heart, make the commitment now, because when you do, the universe will conspire on your behalf. The process of transformation will begin. As soon as you set your intention and commit, transformation will begin. And so when you commit and register now, you have all this time. It's like 6 weeks or so, maybe 8 weeks before it starts. It's January 13th. You have these 2 months of preparing yourself. And what's going to happen in these 2 months, once you make the commitment, is obstacles are going to dissipate. Whatever you felt like is in the way of you taking this training, and I'm out of shape, or I put on too many pounds over Thanksgiving, or I'm inflexible. That's the biggest obstacle I hear from people thinking about yoga. Like, you have to be flexible to do yoga. It's like, who said? Yoga is really, it's for stiff people so that you can actually get more flexible and find a little more freedom. And you know what? For the overly flexible people, Ashaya Yoga, because it balances your body, mind, and heart, you'll actually learn how to get more stable. Those with hyper flexible joints, you actually need to stabilize. You'll get that here. But the point is, we make up all the excuses for not doing something that you know you want to do. This yoga will transform your life, your work, your relationships. You will get a morning sadhana practice, which means a spiritual practice, where every day you'll focus on meditation, the correct way to breathe, the pranayama exercises, mantra. Mantra is so potent. It's a vibratory elixir that totally obliterates old past samskaras and patterns, because the mantra gets in there and they're like white blood cells and they attack the cancer cells, metaphorically speaking. That it actually shifts your entire foundation. Ashaya yoga is not just let's do yoga to get physically fit. Let's like increase our cardio. Or you can go to a lot of other trainings and get the physical part of it. I love that part of it, actually, but I'm not interested in that at this time. I feel like what we need today, life is so intense, there's so much suffering everywhere, so we need to get to the bottom of things. We need to learn how to weave ourselves back together into a pillar of peace, an integrated, meaningful matrix of connection to our source. I think the cause of all pain and suffering is we've lost connection to the source of all that is. You can call it Shakti, you can call it prana, life force. So what's needed is we've got to quiet the mind. We have to learn how to breathe properly to engage the parasympathetic nervous system. And I'm not talking about the 1 hour that you do your practice. We learn how to breathe in yoga so we can breathe correctly all day long. Then at the end of the day, you just drop into bed and actually fall asleep. Like today, that's like, what? You actually sleep? Yeah. Like, it's one of the most important functions that we need to stay healthy. Because when you sleep, your mind does all this processing, sometimes in dreams, so that when you get to the the deep sleep state, and you wake up refreshed because you just defragged your mental computer. You wake up fresh. Everything that was unresolved the day before is resolved in a mysterious way. You suddenly get insight. You get answers to the questions. You see that the problems yesterday were really probabilities. They were really possibilities that opened up for you. You see that the obstacles from the last week were really opportunities. And then you learn how to set the next intention, make the next commitment so that you continue employing the universe. Universe is here to work for us. I always say life has your back. And some people say, it doesn't have my back. Okay, so what's your attitude in life? And they say, life sucks, then you die. Well, no wonder. Like with that attitude, you're really fighting against the support that the universe is trying to give you. So a big part of what we learn in the Ashaya Path course is how to let go. In order to let something go, you first need to let it be. And that takes tremendous self-acceptance. Acceptance is like a muscle, and we're so out of shape with acceptance. You know what muscle is really tight, really strong? Like we are buffed with criticism. We're so critical, we're so hard on ourselves, and there's an inner child inside. There's a soft being that just needs to be held. And this is where your passion lies. This is where your creativity is. And so much of the time it's covered with blankets of unworthiness. There's veils of shame and not enough and just this overall feeling of lack. And then we overcompensate to fill the lack and we get exhausted. And then we're so anxious when it's time to go to sleep, we turn on and like we're buzzing. So then we take medication. Fine, you need to take whatever you take. I'm just saying that there is a part of you that longs for something so profound. And I'm saying commit to it now, because then you'll have these next 2 months of the universe working for you to start to reduce the obstacles in your way, to eliminate the excuses, And then what starts to happen? You start getting in shape. So, I'm starting this 200-hour teacher training. I better get in shape. So you take up biking, or you take up, speed walking, or you start going to the gym. And because you made a commitment for something that is really healthy for you, you start to become healthier. And you start eating well, and perhaps you get a little bit more sleep. So this is how it works. Your intention creates a crease in the time-space continuum. And that is the power we all have as human beings to take charge of our lives. We are the ones who can intervene with grace and shift the course of our lives. I teach that in like the basic core curriculum of Ashaya Yoga is that we are co-participators with life, and that we have the power to free ourselves from self-limiting concepts, from the feeling of lack and unworthiness, from the wounds and the traumas. Actually, it's paradoxical, but we need to learn how to stand in the gift of the wound. It's a whole different concept. Most people are just, I don't want to look at that wound. I don't want to remember that trauma. I've been trying to forget it for, 3 decades or 4 decades. No. Whatever happens to us in our life is the sacred scripture of our journey that needs to be addressed, integrated. We're here to learn. And so there's so much to learn from the light, but there's equally, if not more, to learn from the dark, the parts of us that, we're a little embarrassed about or ashamed about. These are our imperfections. In Ashaya Yoga, you will be taught that you are perfectly imperfect, just as you are. It's a paradoxical journey. You are limited as a human being, but within that humanness is the unlimited nature of the divine, and it expresses itself exactly through your mind, through your thoughts, through your actions, and through your expression, which is what makes you a one of a kind. It makes you a unique being. I say that we're all masterpieces, that we've been painted on the blank canvas of life. And we are painting ourselves in that way to create the life that we really want to live and that we deserve to live. You deserve the very best. So please register. Make that commitment so that you employ the universe to give you that 2-month head start and make something beautiful in your life. And there's an amazing community of students already enrolled in the course. And there's Ashaya Deepening and Ashaya Awakening. So let's say you're really still not sure, then come to the Ashaya Deepening. 3 weekends, that's all it is. And then within that, see what transforms in you. And then listen to your body, listen to your mind and heart, and see if it's the right course for you to continue. Most of the times, 9 out of 10 times, it is. You start to see like the potential for your life to unfold as you continue. It's a teacher training, but it's also leadership training. And I love training teachers, but I have to be honest with you, like my goal is to train leaders. So whether you decide to teach forever and ever, or just want to go through this leadership training to get the depth of personal growth and personal transformation and spiritual transformation, then you can take the student track where you go through the entire course, but you're in the role of the student. And then you don't have to do the teaching exercises. But I think I said in one of the previous webinars that I gave on this topic that if you really want to deepen your practice, learn how to teach. Because in having to language it, you have to know it yourself. Knowing it yourself, you have to be able to demonstrate it in your body. So being able to teach this is a great way to actually deepen the practice, even if you don't intend to be a teacher. But wait and see. Life has a mysterious way. For me, I didn't want to be a teacher. I just love the practice. And then what I found through teaching is that it's so enlivening for me. It makes me feel so happy, so joyous when I see the smiles on my students' faces after a class and they start to change their lives. They start to feel so empowered in their life. And they start living on purpose. And then they make those intentions and the whole universe, like they part the Red Sea, basically. And then they really live as though life is happening for them, not to them. And they shift, they climb out of the hole of the victim consciousness into the radiant sunshine of victory consciousness. And that's the potential that we all have. So I hope you'll join me. Go to ashayayoga.com, click on training, and you'll see it's all laid out there. And if you have any questions at all, just email me, info@ashayayoga.com. And I look forward to seeing you there. And make that commitment sooner rather than later so you get the advantage of shifting the vortex of your life. Namaste. Thanks so much for taking this time. Yeah, it's really, really great to hang out with you. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day.